There is one change you can make tonight for less than $15 that will completely transform the way your gray home looks and feels. And it will change the way you look inside it. If your home was built or remodeled between 2008 and 2016, your interior is almost certainly dominated by gray. Gray flooring, gray paint, gray countertops. It did not matter whether it was a new development in Houston or a full renovation in Connecticut, the entire decade went gray. You deserve to look as good in your own living room as you feel. The goal here is not to tear anything out. No contractors, no construction dust, no climbing ladders. Every tip in this countdown is something you can handle yourself, this week, with nothing more than a trip to the store and maybe a single screwdriver. Here are 10 ways to rebalance your gray interior, starting with the principle that makes all of them work. Number 10, warm and cool tones belong together. The biggest misconception in home design right now is that warm tones and cool tones cannot share a room. The opposite is true. Every interior that feels both interesting and comfortable, whether it is a farmhouse in Vermont or a coastal home in the Carolinas, balances the two. A room that is entirely warm feels flat. A room that is entirely cool feels sterile. The depth comes from tension between both. If your home feels cold, the problem is not gray itself. It is that nothing warm is pushing back. That means you do not need to remove anything. You need to add what is missing. You know when a room welcomes you and when it does not. Trust that instinct. Everything in this countdown builds on one idea. You are not redecorating. You are rebalancing. But rebalancing with the wrong color creates a different problem. The next tip explains what most people reach for first and why it backfires. Number 9. Use Greige and Taupe as your bridge colors. When people hear add warmth, they buy the most saturated beige pillow in the store. It looked gorgeous on the shelf. The moment it hits a gray sofa, it looks like it wandered in from a different house. The smarter move is transition colors. Greige, that hybrid of gray and beige, exists to bridge exactly this gap. It reads as warm but carries enough gray undertone to sit naturally next to what you already own. Taupe works the same way from the brown side, a cool leaning brown that feels like a neighbor to gray, not a stranger. Here is a test you can do at the store. Hold the new item against something gray from your home. If it looks like it belongs in a different room, it jumped too far. If it looks like a natural companion to the gray, you found the right tone. This is not about playing it safe. It is about building a bridge so the warmer pieces you add later have something to connect to. That bridge is color. But the largest surface in any room is not a pillow or a wall. It is your floor. And if your floor is gray, the next tip covers the fastest way to shift the temperature of the entire space. Number 8. Large area rugs with warm bases. Gray tile or gray wood look laminate was standard in homes built during this era. From subdivisions outside Phoenix to remodeled ranches on Long Island. That floor is the largest cold surface in your home, and the fastest fix is covering it with the right rug. The key word is large. A small rug floating in the center of a room draws attention to the gray surrounding it. You want the rug to define the seating area, not float inside it. Look for rugs with an ivory, cream, or warm oatmeal base. The pattern matters less than that foundation tone. When you enter a room, the largest horizontal plane sets the mood. A warm-toned rug takes over that job from your gray floor. Sizing matters. In a living room, every piece of furniture in the seating area should have at least its front legs on the rug. In a bedroom, extend it at least 2 feet beyond both sides of the bed. So every morning, the first thing your feet touch is warm instead of cold gray. And if you spent real money on those floors, a rug is not hiding them. It is framing them. The gray around the edges reads better against something warm. Unroll it, slide it into position. If it is heavy, ask someone to help. One afternoon and the room reads differently. But the floor is only one layer. The furniture on it carries just as much weight, and you do not need to replace any of it. Number 7. Warm wood through accent pieces. You do not need a new sofa or dining table. What you need are supporting players. Smaller furniture pieces in warm wood that create contrast against your existing gray. Side tables, end tables, nightstands, a console in the entryway, a bench at the foot of the bed. These secondary pieces create pockets of warmth throughout a room without overhauling anything. One walnut nightstand next to a gray upholstered bed shifts the entire bedroom. The wood tone matters. Avoid the orange-toned oak that dominated the 90s. What reads well against gray is medium walnut, soft ash, or reclaimed wood with visible grain. These have enough complexity to feel organic against flat manufactured surfaces. Designers use a principle called visual repetition, placing warm-toned elements across a room so the eye connects them. A wood side table on the left, a wood-framed piece on the wall, a wood tray on a surface to the right. Your eye traces the warmth, and the room reads as cohesive instead of cold with one random warm object. Secondhand stores are full of solid wood pieces from the 70s and 80s, often better built than what you will find new. A light cleaning and a coat of matte wax bring them into a modern space. No workshop needed. These pieces bring warmth through material. But the fastest way to bring it through color, for the least money, is even simpler. And almost everyone in a gray home is getting it wrong. Number 6. Swap your throw pillows and blankets. If your throw pillows match your gray sofa, gray on gray on gray, your seating area is amplifying the cold instead of balancing it. The fix takes 15 minutes. You do not need new inserts, just new covers. They zip on, they cost a fraction of full pillows, and they shift the entire feel of the room. The combination that works: 1 or 2 covers in warm cream or ivory linen, 1 in a muted earth tone, terracotta, soft rust, warm olive, or camel, and 1 textured piece in buccal or chunky knit. A warm toned throw blanket draped over the arm of a gray sofa breaks up the monochrome and adds a layer of softness. Repeat this on beds, reading chairs, benches, every surface that currently reads as a flat block of gray. Avoid buying pillows that match each other perfectly. Layered rooms work through variation. A smooth linen next to a chunky weave next to a subtle pattern. That difference in texture creates depth. When family comes to visit, when grandchildren curl up on the couch, these are the textures they reach for. Make them warm. Everything so far brings warmth through color, wood, and fabric. But there is one warmth source that most gray home guides ignore entirely, and it may be the most natural one available. Number 5. Living plants and greenery. Look around any room in your home. How much of what you see is alive? In most gray interiors, the answer is nothing. Every surface is manufactured. Every color is fixed. Nothing moves or grows. That absence of organic life is a significant part of why the space reads as cold. Green is a warm-leaning color. In a gray room, a living plant creates contrast that no manufactured object can replicate. Something alive and dimensional against something flat and static. The pot matters as much as what is in it. Terracotta, woven seagrass, or matte ceramic in earthy tones doubles the warming effect. A plant in a chrome pot does half the work. Layer plants at 3 heights, something tall on the floor, something medium on a shelf or console, something small on a coffee table. This vertical variety adds depth and pulls the eye upward instead of keeping it on one flat gray plane. If keeping plants alive is not your strength, quality faux greenery has advanced considerably. A realistic faux olive tree in a warm clay pot delivers the visual warmth without the maintenance. Whether your living room bakes in Florida heat or sits in Pacific Northwest shade, the effect holds. Green against gray reads as warm. Plants fill a room with life, but there is one surface in most gray homes that stays completely bare and cold. The one you look at most, your walls, and what you put on them matters more than most people realize. Number 4. Artwork that works against the gray. Your artwork is the largest opportunity to put warmth on a wall without repainting it. A large piece with warm tones, like burnt sienna, golden wheat, dusty rose, or warm sage, acts like a window into a warmer scene. It tells the eye where to land and pulls the room toward warmth. What to avoid: black and white photography on gray walls, cool blue abstracts, anything that adds more silver or ice to an already cold surface. These pieces disappear into the wall and flatten the space further. What works? Landscapes with warm earth tones, vintage botanical prints with aged cream backgrounds, abstracts built on warm ochres and muted golds. The frame carries weight. Swap thin black metal for warm wood, oak, walnut, or ash. The frame creates a warm border and feeds into that visual repetition of wood tones across the room. Estate sales and vintage shops are excellent sources. Mid-20th century oil paintings, even amateur work, tend to have exactly the warm, textured quality that reads well against gray. You are not looking for a masterpiece. You are looking for color and warmth under $20. Zero cost move. If you own art you love but it reads cool, reframe it in warm wood. The frame alone shifts how a piece feels on a gray wall. One screwdriver, 2 minutes, done. Art fills walls, but gray-era homes share a quality beyond color that makes them feel colder than they should. And it has nothing to do with what you see. It is about what you feel. Number 3. Textured surfaces over shiny ones. Gray interiors from this era share a second trait. Everything is smooth. Glossy tile, polished countertops, lacquered furniture. That smoothness amplifies the cold because, in design terms, texture reads as warmth. Consider what feels warm in the physical world. Rough linen, worn leather, weathered stone, wood with visible grain, a hand-thrown bowl you picked up 20 years ago. These materials absorb light instead of reflecting it, and that absorption registers as warmth to the eye. Whenever you replace a decorative object, a vase, a bowl, a tray, make the new version textured. Rough ceramic instead of smooth porcelain. Hand-thrown pottery instead of machine glass. Woven fiber instead of polished marble. This applies to soft furnishings too. A smooth satin pillow feels cold in a gray room. Buccal or raw linen in the same color reads warmer. Even when the hue is identical, texture shifts the perception. Quickest test. Run your hand across something in your room. Slick and polished, contributing to the cold. Grip, grain, or variation. Adding warmth. Texture changes how surfaces feel under your hand. But there is another surface you touch dozens of times a day, every handle, knob, and faucet, and in most gray homes, it is the coldest metal available. Number 2. Upgrade your metal finishes. Chrome and brushed stainless steel are the default metals in gray-era homes. Chrome reflects blue. It amplifies gray. When every faucet, pull, fixture, and handle in your home is the same cold silver, the cumulative effect is like lowering the thermostat on the entire house. You do not need to replace everything. Start with the most visible pieces: kitchen faucet, bathroom fixtures, main light fixtures. Polished nickel is the ideal transitional metal. It has a documented warm, slightly golden undertone, warm enough to soften a gray room, but still a silver family finish that does not fight your existing palette. It is what designers consistently choose when they need a metal that works with both warm and cool elements. For smaller pieces, cabinet knobs, picture hooks, shelf brackets, brushed brass or antique gold are strong accents. Mixing polished nickel on major fixtures with brass on details is standard in high-end interiors. Your metals do not need to match. Intentional mixing reads as collected and layered. Budget option: metallic wax finishes at any hardware or craft store transforms existing chrome pulls into antique brass with a cloth in about 2 minutes per piece. No removing hardware. No new holes. Whether you are in a builder-grade condo in Dallas or a century-old Cape Cod in Massachusetts, the principle holds. Warm metals, warm the room. Every improvement we have covered: rugs, wood, textiles, plants, art, texture, metal. All of them depend on one thing to reach their full effect. This last change should come first, even though we saved it for the end, because it multiplies everything else. Number 1. Change every light bulb in your home. This is the single most impactful change in any gray home, the least expensive, the least time-consuming, and the one almost nobody thinks to make. Most homes ship with bulbs rated between 4,000 and 5,000 Kelvin. That is cool white light, a bluish cast. In a warm-toned home, you might not notice it. In a gray home, the effect is compounding. Cool light on cool surfaces creates a blue wash that makes walls look colder, floors look harder, and, based on what photographers and makeup professionals observe, skin look less healthy. This could explain why you look tired in your bathroom mirror but fine in late afternoon sunlight. The light temperature is different. The fix is one trip to the hardware store. Replace every bulb with warm white rated between 2,700 and 3,000 Kelvin. That range mimics traditional incandescent warmth. Gray looks rich instead of sterile. White trim looks creamy instead of stark. Wood glows. Textiles soften. One rule: do not mix temperatures within a room. One cool bulb surrounded by warm ones creates a jarring cold spot worse than having all cool. No ladder needed for most fixtures. Table lamps, floor lamps, vanity lights, bedside lights, start there tonight. For ceiling fixtures, swap them when they burn out or ask someone to help. Even changing the lamps you can reach from where you stand shifts the room immediately. This is what multiplies every other tip on this list. The rug reads warmer. The art comes alive. Every change you made works harder under the right light. You have earned a home that feels as warm as the life you have built inside it. Start here. Start with the light bulbs tonight. Layer in warm metals, textured surfaces, and greenery over the coming weeks. Let artwork and textiles carry the warmth your walls do not. You are not fighting your gray home. You are completing it.